The courtroom is filled with the scent of wood polish and tension. Reporters fidget in their seats as cameras softly click in the distance. Kody Brown is seated at the defense table, his features impassive, his hands clasped so tightly that his knuckles are white. Opposite him are the three women with whom he once shared his life, Christine, Janelle, and Meri. They do not appear to be angry. They appear exhausted, as if each sentence that could have healed them has already been uttered. Robyn sits several feet away, stare focused on the yellowed paper in front of the judge. The sheet is worn and paler than her skin, curled at the edges as if it has endured years of concealments. The marriage pact. The vow that should have held them all together forever. The judge inquires of Kody if he knows the document. His voice is calm, rehearsed. He admits it. It was their accord. A personal understanding between consenting adults who wished to live differently. It was never intended to be legal. But the judge points out that today it is evidence and evidence has power. Christine's jaw tightens. She leans forward and whispers something to Janelle, who only nods. Meri's hand trembles as she holds a silver necklace, the last gift Kody gave her when she still believed in forever. Robyn finally speaks. She says the pact was never meant for this. It was meant to protect them. Kody glances at her, a flash of something in his eyes, regret maybe or fear. And then Christina's voice pierces the room. She wants to know how Robyn's signature got on a copy of the pact 2 years prior to when she even became a member of the family. The words linger in the air like smoke. Robyn stuttered, professed ignorance. But Christine shows a printed picture of the pact from a storage space rented in Robyn's name. The handwriting is the same. The ink is the same. Everything is the same. Kody bangs his hand on the table, yelling at her to desist, but the sound brings more cameras, more murmurs, more questions. Sometimes the loudest truths aren't yelled, they're found in silence. Keep close because this silence is about to get wide open. The judge brings order to proceedings and requests Christine to present her evidence. As Christine takes the journey down to the front, she passes Robyn in silence. For an instant their eyes connect, filled with history and pain, and then Christine looks away. Kody leans back in his chair, listening to his attorney but hearing nothing. The agreement lies before him, each word a reminder of the life he constructed and the vows he had distorted. The judge states that the signatures will be checked, and the court will again meet after a brief recess. They stand, whispering as they depart. Footsteps echo through the tile room, but Kody remains still. He gazes at the one sheet of paper that now classifies him more than an entire lifetime of marriage did. For years it was a token of devotion. Today it is evidence of betrayal. The agreement is not fake. And soon everyone will know what's on the inside. The courtroom quiets once more after recess. The tension hasn't diminished. It's merely altered form. The judge returns cool and measured, as if she doesn't know every eye in the room waits only for one person to say something, Christine Brown. She makes her way to the witness stand slowly, clutching her statement and shaking hands. The clerk administers the oath, and for an instant she casts a glance about the room, greeting each friendly face as if taking a stroll through familiar memories. Her eyes catch on Kody, however, and her tone becomes resolute. She explains that the agreement started out as a vow. Late-night sessions at the kitchen table, everybody discussing love and justice, writing words on paper because words uttered aloud never seem to endure. It was going to safeguard them all, to ensure every wife had a say, every child had a home, every dream room to stretch. Then she becomes bitter. She says everything changed when Robyn arrived. Kody shut her out. Laughter in the house became whispers in the halls. The agreement was no longer an agreement of equality. It was something Kody employed in order to dominate them. Kody's attorney objects, stating this has nothing to do with it. The judge permits Christine to proceed. Christine reports that she witnessed Kody rewriting aspects of the pact on one evening. She did not think anything of it until many months later, when she found that the new version took away her portion of the family's core property. The signature replacing her name was Robyn's. Kody slowly shakes his head, but he says nothing. Robyn glances down at her lap and starts twisting a tissue between her fingers until it rips. Christina's voice breaks for the first time. She explains that she remained silent because she couldn't bring herself to give up on the family, on the possibility that love could repair what documents destroyed. But on the evening she packed her bags, she discovered something in the drawer. An early copy of the agreement, with Kody's handwriting and scribbles in the margin. One sentence jumped out. Priority wife Robyn. The courtroom gasps. The judge calls for silence. Christine sets the paper on the stand and sits back, taking a deep breath, as if to release a weight she's carried for years. Each truth uttered in pain earns its freedom twice, once from the heart, and once from the silence that followed it. Don't blink because the next truth will cut even deeper. Kody's lawyer stands, questioning her gently. He asks if she could be mistaken. Christine says no. She remembers the ink, the smell of coffee on the table, the way Kody hummed while writing. She remembers everything. The lawyer presses again. Asks if she has proof that Kody changed the document intentionally. Christine hesitates, then says she does. She kept the original. It's hidden, sealed in a safety box. The whole courtroom freezes. Panic flashes for the first time in Kody's eyes. He speaks quietly to his lawyer, but Christine doesn't even flinch. She asserts that the box contains not only the original agreement but also letters. Letters in which Kody described how each adjustment would assist him in balancing the household. Letters that establish intent. The judge nods, instructing that the documents will be subpoenaed. The ring of her gavel is like a dying breath. Christine descends, white-faced but calm. She doesn't speak as she passes Kody. There's no need. The tension between them screams louder than words could. Kody looks at the vacant witness seat, where his family once sat united. All that he accumulated, all that he owned is slipping away from him, and the one thing he never thought to lose is gone. The agreement has been made, and it's just the start. The atmosphere is thickened when the judge asks Robyn Brown to take the stand. Journalists rest their elbows on their knees, feeling this is the time when everything might turn around. Robyn rises hesitantly, holding a rumpled handkerchief. Her face is red, her words a mere whisper as she's sworn in. She begins by telling her that she never wanted this to occur, that the family would remain together, no matter the difficulties that arose. Her voice shakes, part apology, part explanation. She explains that she loved all the wives like sisters, but Kody always regarded her differently. She didn't request it, but she didn't resist it either. The judge nods, urging her on. Robyn sighs and begins again. She describes one evening, not too many weeks after becoming a part of the family, when Kody approached her with a pile of papers. He explained it was a long-standing family document, and had her sign her name on the bottom, telling her it was just a symbolic gesture to bring her formally into their union. She believed him. She did not read it thoroughly. She simply signed. Christine shakes her head in disbelievement. Janelle gasps sharply. Meri shuts her eyes. Robyn goes on, her voice trembling. Weeks afterward, she discovered a copy of the agreement in Kody's office drawer. It was signed with her signature years prior to when she met the family. It was altered as to the date. The handwriting was the same pen she used when she signed that night when Kody asked her to sign it. That's when she understood what had occurred. She reports that she approached him calmly and asked why the date was incorrect. Kody instructed her not to worry, that it was just a clerical correction, and no one would ever see it. But he was agitated. She recalls his hand shaking as he removed the paper from her hand. She began to save things, receipts, notes, messages, after that evening because she no longer knew what was real and what was being redone. The courtroom is hushed except for the soft whine of the air conditioner. Robyn's voice is gentle, but each sentence hits like a stone tossed into the water, ripples all around the people who hear her. Sometimes the truth doesn't blow up. It seeps, gradual and insistent, until everybody begins to sink under it. Hold on to this moment because what Robyn says after this reverses everything. Robyn explains that she attempted to inform Kody that she didn't wish her name to be included on any rendition of the pact. But he cautioned her that erasing it would unbalance the structure of the family, that it would cause the others to believe that she was ungrateful or in disloyalty. He explained that the pact was a symbol of their cohesion, and that cohesion was contingent upon her silence. Her voice shakes more intensely now. She explains that after Christine departed, Kody became desperate to safeguard what remained. He became controlling, bordering on paranoid about the agreement, as though it was the sole entity keeping his image intact. He would carry copies of it in a folder with him wherever he went. The judge wants to know if she thinks Kody changed the agreement for selfish reasons. Robyn pauses, her hands clasping the armrests of the witness stand. Then she nods. She testifies yes. He did it to obtain ownership of family property and to guarantee she would be recognized as the sole legitimate wife if the others left. Christina's eyes brim with tears, but she doesn't glance at Robyn. She glances at Kody. He keeps his eyes on the table, his jaw clenched, his lips compressed as if a single misstep breath would shatter him. Robyn whispers that she's sorry for everything. She explains that she should have made her move earlier, before things got to this stage. But she was afraid, and Kody always told her fear was loyalty. When she resigns, the courtroom remains silent for a few awkward seconds. Even the judge is slow to say anything. Everyone understands that the mood of this trial has shifted. For the first time, the wives are not only witnesses. They are survivors of the same truth. When the judge summons Kody Brown to the witness stand, the whole courtroom tenses. The man who once kept the family together with words of faith and leadership, now walks with a heavy, uncertain step. The cameras click as he takes his seat, fixes his jacket, and gazes at the women who once called him husband. He holds up his hand, promises to tell the truth, but even his voice is weary. The attorney starts with easy questions: when they made the pact, why they had it, who was involved. Kody responds softly. He tells them the pact was never intended to be an official document, only a written expression of their love for one another. He tells them they were all happy then, that they didn't require lawyers, only love. But the courtroom is not swayed by sentiment. The attorney persists, inquiring when he last revised the agreement. Kody confesses that he made small tweaks along the way, things he did not perceive as being problematic, corrections to dates and names and lists of property. It wasn't lying, he asserts, it was pragmatism. Christine slowly shakes her head, her eyes with disbelief. Janelle gazes at her hands. Meri sees every flinch of Kody's face, as if she's looking for the man she used to trust. Then the attorney poses the question that shifts the tension in the room. Did Kody change the agreement to give Robyn legal priority over the other wives? Kody doesn't respond immediately. His throat constricts. The silence hangs for so long that everyone senses it. Eventually, he admits that yes, he did make changes, but not why they believe. He says he was attempting to hold the family intact, that creating a formal role for Robyn was done to save them all from disintegrating. Christina's voice rings out across the courtroom before the lawyer can silence her. She utters, "Protect us? You erased us." The judge raps the gavel for order, but the words linger in the air like fog that won't disperse. Kody's attorney attempts to deflect, questioning Christina's assertion that he wrote letters detailing the changes. Kody denies it. He tells her that he did not ever write letters. His knuckles whiten as his hands clench the edge of the witness stand. The attorney repeats the question, and Kody replies, "If she has letters, they're not from me." Every lie told under oath doesn't disappear. It waits, patient and sharp, until the truth finally catches up. Keep listening, because the next few breaths might break everything he's trying to protect. The attorney produces a photocopy of a handwritten note, purportedly from Kody to Robyn, telling her to keep version 4 of the agreement secure and in secret. Kody gazes at it for several moments, then whispers that he doesn't recall having written it. The writing appears to be his, but he insists he cannot be certain. The judge inquires whether he's claiming the letter was forged. Kody blinks, then responds, "Possibly it was." The courtroom reacts immediately. Murmurs erupt, journalists whisper, and Christine leans forward, anger flashing across her face. Kody is adamant that someone had tampered with the documents in order to accuse him, that his intention was only to maintain harmony. His voice starts to falter, the composure losing its grip. He claims he lost control of the family years ago before the pact was even rescripted. He claims that everyone wanted something different. Christine wanted liberty, Janelle wanted autonomy, Meri wanted recognition, and that he overgave himself in an effort to appease everyone. The judge remains expressionless, her pen only tapping against her notes. The lawyer for the wives rises to his feet once Kody is done and delivers one last question. "Mr. Brown, if this agreement was about love, why did you keep it a secret?" Kody glances down. The microphone just manages to pick up his whisper. "Because love isn't forever, but control is." The courtroom comes to a standstill. Nobody stirs. Not even the cameras snap anymore. The judge eventually calls for recess, but the harm is already accomplished. The wives regard him not as a husband or a leader, but as a stranger who constructed an existence out of promises and paper, and incinerated it on his own accord. The courthouse is quiet before the storm the morning after. Reporters stand outside, anticipating something big. Inside, the wives sit together once more, Christine, Janelle and Meri, bound together by fury but separated by fatigue. The bailiff reports that evidence from Christina's safe box has arrived. Each sound, the sound of a lock clicking, the glide of paper, resounds like thunder. Christine is on the stand again. Her hands are not shaking this time. She insists that she left the box shut for years, not in revenge but in fear. Within it, she claims, are reproductions of the original covenant and a set of handwritten letters, dated, signed, and sealed by Kody himself. She says that she didn't want to use them unless absolutely necessary, but after listening to his testimony yesterday, she knew the time was now. The judge directs her to open the box. The metal top groans as she lifts it. Inside are carefully stacked envelopes, each of them lettered in Kody's handwriting. Property division, pact revision, personal notes. Christine extracts one and hands it to the bailiff. The judge reads in silence, her face slowly altering from a look of curiosity to disbelief. The courtroom is in suspended animation. Kody remains still, his eyes jumping between the judge and Christine, as if willing the documents away. The judge does not stir until she finally looks up. She asserts the letter explicitly says that Kody had planned to rewrite the agreement to provide continuity through Robyn as the main wife, that it would secure her ownership of family property in the event the others departed. Kody stands up suddenly, in denial. He insists the letter is not legitimate, someone must have done it as a prank. But Christine informs the court that every envelope contains a fingerprint seal, which has been tested and authenticated by a notary years ago. The judge demands that all the documents be analyzed. A forensic scientist comes forward, assuring that the fingerprints and ink are Kody's. All the letters are authentic. The reality strikes like an ocean wave. When evidence finally comes, it does not yell. It whimpers with the gravity of everything we already suspected. Don't blink, because this whimper is going to turn into the loudest noise in the room. Janelle blinks back tears. Meri covers her mouth with a hand. Even Robyn appears shattered. Kody goes white. He tells us he was trying to save the family from chaos, that he believed giving Robyn control would create order, not devastation. But his words lack conviction now, emptied of power. Christine does not taunt. Her tone is gentle when she talks. She claims that she never sought revenge but truth. She claims to have spent years attempting to repair what was already broken, to remain faithful to a man who remained faithful only to himself. Kody leans back in his chair. His attorney speaks urgently in a whisper, but Kody doesn't say a word. He looks at the papers, his own handwriting, the records of every decision he made. The judge inquires as to whether there's anything else in the box. Christine nods and produces a small envelope with final addendum on it. She explains that she never opened it. It was sealed the same night Kody gave her the last version of the pact. She hands it to the judge, who opens it carefully. Inside is a single sheet of paper, one line written in Kody's unmistakable handwriting. If you're reading this, it means the family is gone. The room goes still. No one speaks. Kody closes his eyes, and for the first time, he seems like a man who knows the price of his own decisions. Christine glances over at him and whispers, "You were right." It is. The judge calls for recess. The crowd outside roils as news leaks. Inside, the wives sit quiet, staring at Kody as if holding their breath for him to speak a word, but he doesn't. He just drops his head. The pact that was supposed to bind them has finally undone them all.